So my Insta360 camera stick broke. It's this Insta360 action invisible selfie stick, but this might also work for the other stick. So it did not really physically break, as in it's not like the carbon is broken. It just feels like it came apart at the joint. And I was trying to find some videos how to fix this, but I didn't really find anything. And there were some parts involved with this. As you can already see, there are some parts on this part. This is the side, that's good. But these parts repeat across the whole assembly. And then there is this hat, which if you put in, there's like a little cutout there. That's not broken, that's how it's supposed to be. And then there was this part. This is, as you can see, it's the same as you have it in there. And this part connects to another part, which is this plastic. So in my case, these two parts were just, I think they fell apart inside. They're supposed to be pressed together with the spring. They fell apart. And this part kind of fell behind and it was in the tube. And this part was also still in the tube. I kind of shake the stick and I managed to get it out, this part, but this part was super stuck because of the spring. So my solution was to get a string, attach like a piece of nut to the string, and as it was inside, it was wedged all the way in the back, and there's no way to really open this from the other side. I tried, I took down the protective sleeve, but there's nothing around it. And it seems like the only way to get in is if you remove the end, and that is glued in. Seen some videos for people where the end broke off after they were using it, but I could not make it budge. And also, even if I would take it off, I would have an issue putting it back on. So that was not really a solution. But I needed to get this out. So it was stuck inside. It was stuck also in like some angle, like this. I think it was like this. Like this, yeah. Just like way back inside. So what I did is I used the string with a knot, like a super tiny knot, and as it was stuck inside, let's see if I can get it in. It was stuck inside. I got the string around it and then back, and I wrapped it around this coil, this spring. So the string goes around, and then I forcefully pulled it out, which made this string separate from this, hopefully without breaking. And then once it's out, hopefully the assembly should be much easier. I mean, following this one, you can see that these two plastic parts, they have to be together. So I assume this and this, they go together in the hole, just like that. There's some two dots. So you press it together, and then you get it in, and then in the end you can put on the hat, and you can push it all in. Hopefully that helps someone else with this 366. Also important to note, there is a rail inside, so as you might see, there's a rail there. So when you put on the cap, the rail kind of has to be, this would go to the next part, but the rail has to be between one plastic part and then the other part. And I assume this is the part that makes it so it doesn't spin. So once it starts spinning, it's kind of already broken. So here's the missing assembly, the one that I took out. So it goes to the end of the rod. Now there's a problem with this. So normally this would take, so this has to go in here, right? The spring. And then the other side has this part. So it goes there. Then the spring goes there. Now you do need to compress this really strong, so maybe with some clamps. And in theory you could just push this in, hopefully. But here's the issue. Originally this thing was assembled from behind, from this way. Like they push all these segments in. And that's because they already have this thing in place. This little hat, which makes it so it can't fall out. Like when you pull this, it stops here. And that's because of this hat. But in our case, since we cannot really remove the bottom, we need to push the hat from the top after pushing this in. So first this, we're just gonna remove the spring for now. So first this, and there, remember there is a way, there's like a part inside, like a line that you have to align. So you align the line, then you should be able to push it in. Remember with the spring, I'm not gonna push it in right now. And then in the end, once you push it in and you get it all the way down, you should be able to, with some force, take the hat from the top, get it in there, like that, and then with force push it down, push it into that groove. And this is quite hard, but I managed to accidentally do it from here on the top before. So it should be possible to do from the bottom also. Okay, so I get most of the assembly together now. I mean, it does move, but it's much more stiff right now. And I still need to get this done. So I can get the first part through. So I can actually get the plastic down in there. The first part of the hat. But then getting this part down seems to be really hard. And I'm not gonna force it. Instead I was thinking, if I can just round off the bottom edge of the plastic, then I have some chance of getting it under. And since this is never going to be issue if you just round it off on the bottom, because you're always just gonna push it down. Once it's assembled, you're never gonna be, the force is not gonna go that way, so that should be fine. So can I give it a try? There, I grinded it down a little bit. So hopefully it's gonna go easier. Okay, so now we are at the last stage. And since I have access to a 3D printer, I did print one of these. It's basically it matches exactly the size of this rod. And then it allows me to just hammer away on each side to get it closer down. And it's already under. The two squares are only under. It's quite a lot of hammering, so I recommend putting it together, putting it against the ground, and just hammering from each side. Hopefully it works out. Might be harder to do without a 3D printer, and maybe you can find something similar. And now it's assembled. It folds out very easily, I would say, but when it comes to folding in, that one segment, well, now it seems to be working good, but that one segment is a little stale. But also it's important, you can probably reach out to Insta360 and within the warranty get it sorted, and they should be able to send a new replacement.